We all make mistakes, even here in the luxury community, even me. I know that shocks you. Today, I'm talking about luxury bags I've sold and why. Sometimes we really think we're gonna love a bag and we just don't, and it happens. And sometimes it's just because our lifestyle changes or because the bag just wasn't what we thought it was gonna be. Sometimes maybe we find something we like better. So today I am talking about the bags I've sold and why, and these are going to be luxury bags. I love it when people do these videos because I learn a lot more about the bag than I do just from the reviews. You know, it's nice to look at it from all angles. Why somebody wants it, when somebody has it, what they put in it, how it wears for them, and then sometimes why they sold it. And so hopefully this will help you in some way, because you might decide that a bag that I didn't love for a certain reason is a feature that you love about the bag. So let's get started. To let you know, I don't have photos of these bags because I wasn't doing YouTube at the time, so I have no photos or videos of my bags. Where I can find the bags, I'm going to show you pictures of them. I'll try to find the exact color that I had, and if I can't, it's going to come up in a different color, but I'll insert pictures as I'm talking about them so that you can see what I'm talking about. The first brand I'm going to talk about is Chanel, and I have sold a few Chanel bags. I had a double flap jumbo in caviar leather. Now my medium flap right here was the first Chanel bag I ever got. And this one is the medium in lambskin black with silver tone hardware. And so when I got the jumbo, I wanted it to be very different from this bag. So the last thing I was going to do was have black lambskin. So I chose a lighter sort of creamy brown caviar with gold tone hardware. And I really thought that's going to be the deal. This is going to be great. Everybody loves this bag. Sure, I'll love this bag. I like the medium. Why wouldn't I like the jumbo? The jumbo doesn't work for me. And really the major reason is that it's heavy. It's a heavy bag. And I know you hear some people complain about that, but it got to be too much for me. When the bag is this small and you've got it down low and you're reaching in to get something, that's pretty easy to do. But when it was the double flap, you can't just this little maneuver right here and then to get the other one, and none of that worked because the bag was still way up here. I had to stop everything I was doing, set the bag down, open it up, or I needed to have both hands free when I did it. I'm a mother. I don't often have both hands free. Now, my boys are grown now, but what mom walks around life with both hands free? It just doesn't work. It just didn't work for me. I love it. I think it's a gorgeous bag. I'm not dissing anybody who has it for sure, and I'm not dissing the bag in any way. It just didn't work for me. I ended up replacing it with this. So this looks very similar in ways to what I had before, but this is a single flap, and the single flap works for me. It is lighter because it doesn't have the extra leather. It's lighter in weight. It actually holds more because that double flap isn't taking up space. I can open it and get into it with one hand. And I just love the bag. I love everything about it. So when it comes to the jumbo, I am a single flap kind of woman, which brings us to our next bag. I love this bag so much I thought, ooh, I'm gonna get one of those vintage single flap maxis. And again, I didn't want to get it in black because, you know, I have this black and I'm somebody who likes color and I like to have variety. So I got that one in sort of a tobacco brown color with the gold CCs. And I got one that was in good shape. It was beautiful. The only thing I will say is that when I bought it on the secondhand market, I bought it from the Real, and you can't return it, although I found out later that if I had called them on this, I would have been able to return it. It had a horrible combination of ancient perfume and smoke smell. It was awful. So I did a lot to air that bag out. It involved charcoal, it involved a lot of stuff, and I really did get it aired out, and I got rid of the smell. So I actually helped the bag in its lifetime. I feel like I did right by it. The problem I had with it was so flashy. The CCs on that bag are so big. They're literally about this big. And they're the ones that have they're gold plated, but the CCs are flat, but they are big. And I was uncomfortable with that. I'm not really much of a logo person, and so I just felt like a walking billboard when I wore that bag, and I felt like I couldn't wear anything that had anything that would compete with that. And I'm somebody, you know, I'm a jewelry designer. I like to wear jewelry. You know, I didn't want to have to compete with it. I don't know, it just, as far as accessorizing, it didn't live well with my outfits. It kind of always had to be center stage, and I didn't want a logo on a bag to be center stage. It's okay if a bag is center stage to an outfit, but not a logo on a bag. And so I would turn it the other way. I would carry it with the Mona Lisa pocket out. But that made it harder to get into, obviously, because now the flap of the bag is facing in toward me. And so I let that bag go. The next bag I sold was my one and only Chloe bag, and it was the Chloe Paddington Hobo. And Chloe's a brand that I do like. I think I'll find another bag with their brand that I love. I love this bag again. I love the look of it. It was a navy bag, and it had a big lock on it, a padlock, and it was very, very pretty. I'm hoping I can find a picture of this to show you. The problem again was, wow, was this a heavy bag? The lock that was on it was this big oversized lock, and I loved the look of this because this wasn't a logo. This was a design element that this bag was known for. And so it's not like it flashes I'm Chloe, but it is, you know, this big design element that says this is who I am, if you know, or at least this is what this design is about. The problem is it was heavy. That thing was, I don't know what that was made from, but it was heavy. It was a solid thing. I realized later I could use it as a weapon too. I mean, it was really that heavy. But I eventually gave that bag up due to weight. Next are a few Louis Vuitton bags that I sold. And the first one was the Louis Vuitton Eva Crossbody. It was a small bag. This was, you know, it has the, I actually had it in the damier bin. This was one of those YouTube made me do it. You know, I would see all these YouTubers, they had the bag and they used it in different ways. And I liked it on them, and I got it. And I liked it on me pretty well. In some outfits I liked it well, but it did feel like the bag was a little young for me in some way. It just didn't feel quite like me. I kind of felt like I was influenced by YouTubers as opposed to picking something that I would have gone in and just picked up for myself if I had been uninfluenced. And then I had a bad experience in a Louis Vuitton store carrying this bag, and that sealed the deal for me. So I was on vacation in New Orleans, walked into Louis Vuitton wearing this bag, and nobody would give me the time of day. There weren't many people there. And the woman behind the counter, I had told her that I wanted to look at, I don't know what it was, but I wanted to look. It was a more expensive Louis Vuitton bag. And she kind of looked at my Eva and sighed and said, I'll see if I can find someone else to help you. I mean, I just got no attention, and I thought, wow, if you don't like this bag, like if Louis Vuitton thinks this bag isn't worth my money, maybe it's not worth my money. Now, I do know that that was just the one woman. I know that had anybody really seen her do that, she may very well have been fired. To me, that was should have been at least counseled. That's not a good look for the brand. But it just gave me a bad feeling, and I already had sort of a bad feeling because I was traveling and I like to use it as a travel bag. So I sold the bag, that was it, I was done. The bag just really wasn't me, and it wasn't for me. Next is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 30 in Epping leather, and I love Epping. I have 3 Alma bags in Epping, and I have the Jasmine in Epping. Epping is generally my favorite leather for Louis Vuitton bags. It doesn't work in the Speedy. It doesn't have the right flexibility that the Speedy needs. The Speedy really wants to be in a softer material like the canvas or the Empreinte, and it just, I could tell, it was a little stiff. I knew it wasn't going to wear well. It was going to get scuffed. It just wasn't right for me, and I don't feel like it's the best choice for that bag. Now, there are people who it might be perfect for. It just wasn't working for me and my lifestyle. Next was the Louis Vuitton Luminess, and this is another one that was a YouTube thing. It wasn't, our Louis Vuitton store eventually closed, and so I couldn't always go in to the Louis Vuitton store, and so I would start ordering online. either from Louis Vuitton and sometimes secondhand if I couldn't find the bag. And this bag was going around, and I've never been somebody that would like the Neverfull. The Neverfull would never work for me because you can't close it. I want a bag to be much more secure than that. And also, I don't find the straps of the Neverfull to be comfortable. I think they're too thin and stiff, and I don't really like them. So I saw the Luminess and thought this would be perfect for me. It was in a beautiful burgundy empreinte. It did have logos everywhere, but the empreinte is not so in your face. It had gold hardware, the perfect zippers and everything. Here was my mistake. Because I couldn't see it really, I got the GM. And there was one woman that I had watched on YouTube who got the GM, loved the GM. It looked great on her. I thought this is going to carry everything I need for work and then some. It zips, it's secure, it'll go over my shoulder, even with the coat. This is going to be perfect. The GM swallowed me. I'm 5'7", which is, average, but it was so big. I mean, people would ask me where I was going this weekend or where was I going to the airport. I mean, it looked like I was carrying luggage. And I thought about using it as a carry-on bag, but I thought, nah, this is too precious. I'm not going to stuff this under the seat. So I love the bag. I got the wrong size. Probably the PM would have worked out for me. So I ended up selling the GM. The next Louis Vuitton bag that I sold was the Louis Vuitton Sherwood GM, and it was in vernis, and it was in that amaranth color. And I bought this one new here, and I really love the look of that bag, still do. It's a gorgeous bag. It's a statement without, again, being too loud, because even though it had the logos, it's imprinted in the leather. I just didn't carry the bag, and I think it was almost too much of a statement shape. I felt like that bag was wearing me, that I wasn't really carrying it. It's the first time I felt that way with a bag. You did have to be, the shape was a little odd. It's not something you just sort of sling over your shoulder and kind of go about. It is a little bit of a prissier bag. I just felt like that bag was wearing me and that I wasn't wearing it. And I really only carried it about 4 or 5 times. And as I was culling my, the bag situation behind me, I let that one go because I just didn't feel like it was something that I would carry a lot, and I knew that I didn't carry a lot. So I hope whoever has that bag now is loving it, enjoying it, and getting it out and about much more, because the bag does certainly deserve that. So next are a couple of bags. It's a Carlos Falchi bag and a Todd's handbag, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to find pictures, but I'll look. The Carlos Falchi was a big snakeskin. Both of these were snakeskin bags, and the Carlos Falchi was the painted series, and it had this big floral pattern painted on the snakeskin. And the Todd's bag was a much smaller, little delicate snakeskin bag. And I really had to realize that for the most part, snakeskin is not for me in a bag, because the scales lift, and it's just what the bag does. There's nothing, you can handle it as delicately as you want, and it's still eventually going to lift. And so the bigger Carlos Falchi bag had to carry it against your body, and that was going to get even worse. But in the Todd's bag, it's a little better, but no matter what, it was going to lift. And I just decided that I couldn't have anything sort of that high maintenance in my world. And even if I did, there was nothing I could do to keep that from lifting. So I sold those before they got too far out of shape, because again, I was looking to just keep the bags that I knew that I would carry and carry frequently. The other category of bag that I sold, and I sold several of them, were the Judith Lieber, and I can never say this word, miniadores, the little bags that have crystal embellishments all around them. They are very elegant. They're great for dinner or for going out. But what happened was the cell phone, where my phone had been about this big, it got to be a smartphone. It got bigger and bigger, and I couldn't put my phone in any of them. And I just need to carry my phone. So I just decided it was going to have to either be the bags or the phone, because I couldn't imagine carrying those bags regularly and not a phone, or trying to put the phone somewhere else when I'm obviously dressed up because I'm carrying this bag. So I let those go, and they were some beautiful ones. I probably will not be able to find the exact ones that I had, but I'll try to get close, and I'll insert some pictures here. So that's everything that I can remember. There probably were a few more because I sold a lot of bags, but those are the ones that I can remember sitting here now. There were some other things that I sold, some SLGs and some luggage, and maybe I'll do that in another video, but these were the bags that I sold and why. I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear what you think about these bags. Do you feel the same way I do, or does one of these bags completely and totally work for you? It is your magic bag. Let me know in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe and hit the bell so we can see each other again. Until next time.